Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to make a really interesting, delicious, fun soup recipe. Tomato basil soup, creamy tomato basil soup. And this is a kind very similar to what you find in Madeline, and I love it. We're going to start off with a little olive oil in our pan, and I use one of those ceramic French pots. Really, really good to cook in. I mean, everything. You can see my pot's pretty warm. So we've got a quarter of an onion in there, a white onion, and we're going to go ahead and saute that. In the meantime, I'm going to cut a clove of garlic. We're going to put the garlic in there. And then we're going to come back and we're going to add a large can, a 28-ounce can of tomato puree. And then we will be adding 2 cups of chicken broth to that, some basil, and in the end we'll add a little splash of balsamic vinegar. And I'll come right back and show you what we're going to do. We're going to let this onion get translucent, add our garlic, and go from there. For those of you that don't know this tip, there's an easy way to make chicken broth if you don't have any, okay? It's the preferred way, but everybody can do this from time to time. And what I've done is I buy these chicken bouillon cubes. I use them for so many different things, gravy, flavoring things, etc. So today I don't have any chicken stock on hand, so I'm going to go ahead and use 2 bouillon cubes to 2 cups of water. That's what we're going to use for our broth. I'm going to let that sit for a few minutes, and I may microwave it. And that is just a tip for you if you don't have chicken broth, because you will need 2 cups for this recipe. My garlic in, and as you can see, it's starting to brown. You want to move it off the heat when it starts to brown. You do not want it to scorch, so definitely not the garlic. So we're going to go ahead and move that off the heat. The next thing we're going to add is our 28-ounce can of tomato. Okay, we've added our tomato puree and actually our chicken broth that we made. Next, we're just going to add a little bit of salt, just a little. Just going to sprinkle it in. Same thing with the pepper. And then we're going to add a quarter of a cup of sugar and a cup of heavy cream. And of course, we're going to chop up some basil. And the very last ingredient we're going to put in here is just a shot of balsamic vinegar. It just takes away some of the acid. It makes it really flavorful and delicious. So we're going to come right back in just a minute. 1 teaspoon of fresh basil and 1 teaspoon of dried basil. I didn't have enough fresh basil, so we're going to just use half and half. We're going to go and stir this up, and we're going to taste it. Now, some people put red pepper in theirs. I'm not going to do that because I've made this before and it was really good without it. So we're going to go ahead and give it a little taste before we put the cream in. Really good, y'all, all without the cream. But we're going to go ahead and put a cup of heavy whipping cream in here, and then the balsamic vinegar at the very end. But we're going to go ahead and cook this for about 10 minutes on medium heat. Getting ready to add our heavy whipping cream. And did y'all know that with heavy whipping cream, y'all can make your own homemade whipped cream? It's real simple. You take 1 cup of whipping cream, some vanilla, and a teaspoon, looks like 2 tablespoons plus 1 teaspoon of powdered sugar. And you're going to put that in a mixer, and you're going to either whisk it or put it, use a mixer and mix it up for about 3 minutes till you get peaks, and that makes some really good whipped cream, way better than the store-bought. So in the meantime, we're going to go back to our soup, and here it is. It is ready to have the cream added, and let's go ahead and add that. And by the way, I use the same cup that I made the broth in to just save on too many dishes, but some of you may frown on that, but I think it's great. Save some dishes. So there you go. You see how this is turning, and you want to keep mixing it up. It's going to take a little while to get mixed up. I'm going to go ahead and add the remainder of that cream. There we go. And this is very similar to the Madeline soup. All right. Keep mixing till you get it all mixed in. Doesn't that look good already, y'all? It looks amazing. All right, guys. Now, the very last thing we're going to add is we're going to add If you can see that. We're going to add just a splash of balsamic vinegar. And that's all you need. And that's it kind of acts like sherry would in like homemade mushroom soup. It's kind of fancy, but it does add a little touch of flavor. And so there is our Madeline copycat, or our own creamy tomato basil soup. It looks delicious, and I'm getting ready to have a bowl, y'all. You can add Parmesan cheese to this as a garnish, or croutons, but we're just going to have it plain. You could also add some cheese crackers. That's kind of what we're famous for, throwing some cheese crackers in there. Or, of course, the old standby tomato and grilled cheese soup, which we all know and love, and we grew up with, comfort food at its finest. But I do hope that you enjoyed this simple, quick recipe of tomato basil soup, kind of like La Madeline, if any of you are familiar with that. If you're not, you're missing out. But they do have an amazing soup, and they sell it by the jar. And anyway, this is very similar to that, but it is Mom's recipe. And so I hope y'all stop by, enjoy the recipe, make a pot of soup. Really, really great during springtime, and lots of less calories in a whole meal. So really, really good, and especially for all of you that are out there not eating meat, this is a great recipe for that as well. So if you haven't, if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell if you'd like to get notifications from Mom's Cherished Home. We do enjoy and appreciate our viewers. Thanks for watching. Bye.